So, for some reason, the Madagascar movies of all things are my most requested videos. I mean, I think they're fine, but these? Oh well, if it's the people's will, then it's a reality. Let's just get through all of them right now.
I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. Yeah, I like to move it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. You like to move it. I like to move it, move it. You like to move it, move it. She like to move it, move it. He like to move it.
Zebra rope swinging under the opening credits tells me all I need to know about how this movie will treat physics and science and logic. Okay, penguins and zebras in the same spot? That's some chicanery right there. And also, unlike peacocks, who everyone knows can fly, penguins are actually flightless birds, so this is someone's fantasy. Here's some math for you. Cartoon physics squared equals dream cartoon physics. The lion can catch up to the zebra running only on his back feet.
Surprise!
It was all a dream cliche.
The first 5 sins are already the stupidest thing on planet Earth. Okay, the second stupidest thing. Jeremy spends 4 sins complaining about the physics and then straight up admits in the 5th sin that this whole opening was a dream sequence. Like, if it was just cartoon physics he had a problem with, that'd be one thing, but dreams are literally a real thing and aren't realistic. Why is it a sin for a movie to have unrealistic things happen in a dream? I mean, Inception wouldn't be as good as it was if it was more grounded.
Alex! Do not interrupt me when I'm daydreaming!
This zoo was apparently designed on a decommissioned mini golf course where they just installed a few 3-foot fences and decided that was enough.
I would probably just say this isn't our reality, but I'm more bothered with why the editor bothered playing Marty's line there. What did that clip have anything to do with this sin?
Hoof mill? Is there a whole line of athletic equipment for animals in this universe?
Sure, why not? Haven't you noticed how humans treat animals in this universe? Like, Alex is essentially a celebrity, so an animal-themed treadmill isn't that far out of the realm of possibility.
What's your mouth for? Ah! Right here. What the heck is this doing in there?
It is a giant glass ball. That is a very good question. Why not hide something, say, in your mane?
This is one of the many scenes that isn't meant to be taken seriously. It's just supposed to be something the writers and animators thought would be funny, and so they did it. But I have a feeling you taking jokes dead serious is going to be a running theme throughout these Madagascar movies, isn't it?
These aren't even on the shelf yet.
Then where the did he get it?
Maybe in the storage room.
I guess security is so lax at this zoo that all the animals are able to easily escape their enclosures and basically roam free, allowing Alex to waltz into the gift shop and take whatever he wants. Also, based on this picture, Alex has pretty decent handwriting for a lion who has paw/hand hybrids. They're still better than regular paws, but one would assume that he would still have a disadvantage.
You know, Alex is a lion, right? Lions don't walk on 2 legs and they don't talk. Since Alex is basically human, why can't he have good handwriting?
None of the people in all of these apartments back here notice the lion and zebra casually acting like friends.
Jeremy just assumes this despite the movie not suggesting that at all. And even if someone did see them, it's New York. You think they'd care?
This zoo has a terribly unsafe and unsecure lion enclosure.
Yeah, you already mentioned that.
Whoa, let's go!
Did that giraffe just use the toilet?
Yes.
This monkey fishes out coffee, a newspaper, and a bagel without even looking down at the trash can. This speaks either to the hyper-intelligence of this monkey, or the extreme predictableness of the general American zoo visiting public.
Okay, and I don't see how either of those things are something wrong with this movie. If it's the former, that would make sense since animals are intelligent in this universe. If it's the latter, yeah, those are the exact things an American would throw in a trash can.
Also, the zoo just opened, so the janitor didn't empty the trash last night. Nice job, dude.
This implies that this trash was here all night, which isn't true. Jeremy cut the part of the movie that showed a customer throwing a coffee cup in the trash can, and then the monkey immediately picks it out. While I'm willing to give Jeremy the bagel and newspaper, the sin I'm giving still applies.
Ziploc fresh!
This is such a random brand shout-out, I wonder if Ziploc helped underwrite this movie.
Says the guy who shills out ads during the beginnings of his videos.
So this lion display is the lion standing on 2 feet on a pedestal, posing, surrounded by fireworks? That's actually incredible.
Jeremy sends something he likes cliche.
I can't tell, is that blue steel? Given the context, it's probably La Tigre.
Arbitrary Zoolander reference.
Man, I wish the animals at my local zoo did cool stuff like this. They mostly hide, which is why a standard zoo visit for me is basically I Spy.
It's almost like this isn't our reality, or something.
Sexy hippo ripoff from Fantasia. Add +1 more sin for making me write the word sexy hippo.
Sinning the movie for something it didn't do. I guess that requires the Not in the Movie's Fault award. Oh, this movie was Luke's first time using it? Cool.
We've broken our last shovel.
They've tunneled through concrete with a common plastic spoon? Just give them their freedom. They f***ing earned it, no?
Sinning the penguins of Madagascar for any reason. That's worth a few extra.
What continent is this?
Manhattan.
Even zebra New Yorkers think that they are so important that their island qualifies as a continent.
Jeremy expects an isolated zebra in a zoo to know what a continent is. Also sinning this joke.
Did he not get an actual dinner like the rest of them? The zoo may be actively trying to kill this giraffe. Are we sure this isn't the Copenhagen Zoo?
The whole joke around Melman is that he's always taking meds and afraid he's always sick. This is simply meant to reinforce that joke. Again, it's a movie, and movies don't always do logical things. Sometimes they just do certain things because the filmmakers think it's funny.
You
Look like a monkey.
you smell like
1, 2.
I say.
A monkey, like their colleagues at the zoo? It's not just the penguins. All the animals here are racist.
I told you this in my Zootopia video, but it's speciest.
What's eating him?
All the stuff Marty just spelled out literally seconds ago is what's eating him, but later it will be Alex.
Melman isn't the smartest guy in the world. Kind of like a certain person that I know. Oh, come on! Who snuck into the editing room?
Not gonna find a star like that in the wild.
Helicopter.
This helicopter appears out of nowhere and is stationary until Marty says what it is. Maybe this is one of San Andreas' magical helicopters that can do impossible things.
How on earth did it appear out of nowhere? Did the movie have a shot in the sky before this moment? Did we see the sky before the helicopter appeared?
The f***? Do they all have their own light switches?
Yes.
Clap on heater.
Jeremy points things out in the screen cliche.
Why is Zebra the only zoo inhabitant with tons of light on him during this pullback shot?
Because Marty isn't asleep yet while everyone else is? I mean, isn't that obvious?
You suck your thumb?
Better question, you have thumbs?
What's really gonna bake your noodle is that Alex somehow has vocal cords that allow him to speak.
You know how I have that bladder infection and I have to get up every 2 hours? Well,
You know how I have a giant bruise on my head from you beating me with the fact that Melman is debilitatingly ill?
You know how you demonstrate here that you're aware of this running gag, and yet asked why he had meds served for dinner?
I've been trying to avoid commenting on the way these characters look, because they're clearly stylized, and I don't find anything wrong with that, really. I don't. But Melman's neck is too far from actual giraffe anatomy. I feel like I'm looking at a giraffe who has broken his neck. Maybe that's why he's so sick all the time.
You claim that you've been trying to avoid comment on the character designs, and yet you ask how Alex has thumbs 2 sins ago? Also, why is Melman's neck what broke you?
I know that's right.
She's not just a hippo, she's the sassy black hippo friend.
That's racist.
It wouldn't surprise me if Gloria was in the next Avengers movie. Maybe she can take over for Hawkeye. Hawkeye.
Ah, Hawkeye diss. That really dates this video, doesn't it? You know, the guy that we saw go up against Yakuza and kill Hiroyuki Sanada? I'm just saying, there's a reason he's on the Avengers.
Finally, some people see these fucking animals. Sadly, it's too late to keep the plot from happening.
But don't them being seen by humans cause the rest of the plot to happen? Like, that's literally how they get to Madagascar.
Yeah, that's right, a zebra. Right in front of me. Can I shoot it?
America.
Okay, that was funny.
While that is funny, I would argue that this would more so be animal control's dealing, not the police, since Marty's a zebra, so that might not work as much as Jeremy thought it would.
Oh, yeah, I guess it's a good point.
Can I shoot it?
Well, that depends on if it's a white zebra with black stripes or a black zebra with white stripes.
Grand Central Station. It's grand, and it's central.
And it's a station.
2 sins of Jeremy just yelling at the screen.
How invested in the physics of this cartoon should I be? I thought only the animals were stereotypical cartoons and their abilities, but here we have an old lady with super strength.
Well, that's your fault for assuming that. What's wrong with the cartoon giving cartoon abilities to humans? You're just sitting a cartoon for being a cartoon. I bet you'll hate Captain Dubois in the 3rd movie.
guys, we're running out of time.
You know what would make this?
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Sinning this joke.
Several large and potentially deadly animals have escaped from the zoo, and they send in the entire NYPD, the fire department, and just the most frightened guy from animal control.
Says this as if the animal control guy doesn't trank Alex.
So are they in reality on all fours just roaring, and they just think they're standing upright? Or do the humans notice that they're You know what? Animated movie with ambiguously defined rules.
That's actually one of the best parts of these movies in my opinion, that the rules are so ambiguous so any crazy or wacky hijinks can happen. But in this case, clearly the movie is trying to say that humans see animals the same way we do, with the only difference being that they hear animal sounds coming out of their mouths instead of human words. This was shown earlier when Alex called the police, and the guy on the other side just heard roaring.
In Madagascar 4, we learn that Alex is addicted to tranquilizers and has forever been chasing his first high.
You really have a knack for saying the best jokes, don't you? Hope this doesn't get worse the further we go.
I have an appointment with Dr. Goldberg at 5.
The stock paranoid nebbish character provided by David Schwimmer. Presumably they didn't want Woody Allen anywhere near a children's movie.
You're talking about a DreamWorks movie, and this is the same studio that had Woody Allen in Ants.
Some more math. Penguins times 4 equals Liam Neeson.
Sending the Penguins of Madagascar for any reason times 2. That's worth a few extra.
Why are they going all the way around Africa? Wouldn't it be faster to just use the Suez Canal and come from the north? I'm actually curious. Any sailors in the house?
Thanks to Granny Tomias for providing this sin here. If the ship had gone through the Suez Canal, it would also have to go through the Bab al-Mandab Strait at the other end of the Red Sea. A strait which has at times become dangerous due to terrorist groups like the Houthi rebels in Yemen bombing or hijacking merchant and fuel ships going through it.
Okay, they fell off the ship right at Madagascar. Okay, fine. But only their 4 crates fell off the ship right here? Seriously? That's implausible as hell.
Yeah, the sin would make sense if you cut out the part of the scene that showed Alex and Marty fighting inside the crates, causing the latches to detach. You're lucky that that scene isn't in the movie, though. Am I being sarcastic?
You're goddamn right.
DreamWorks has an unhealthy obsession with putting large quantities of things in its characters' mouths.
Do they? As someone who's seen every DreamWorks animated movie, I don't remember that happening very often. Like, I can only remember that in the Kung Fu Panda films when Po and Li Shan are stuffing dumplings in their mouths.
Alex doesn't think to pull him out by his feet, thus manufacturing some more slapsticky situations.
That's the joke.
None of the other animals were exposed to water in their crates, but Gloria had access to these sea creatures.
That's true for Alex and Melman, but we don't know if that happened with Marty, since his next scene is him outside of his crate surfing on dolphins.
This is seriously out of control. It has been all of 22 seconds since the last pop culture reference.
Ironic, coming from the guy who earlier referenced both Avengers and Zoolander.
But there's music, there's people.
Or hyper-intelligent lemurs with a stereo. One of the two.
So what is this sin? You're just telling us what happens in the next scene. Are you yelling at the screen again?
Alex turns into Dick Van Dyke for a second.
Yeah, and that's worth a sin off.
I like to move it, move it.
One of the pilots who crash-landed on Madagascar only had one CD on his plane. Reel to Reel, dooming these lemurs to be obsessed with reggae fusion house music from 1993.
Ah yes, because we only heard the lemurs listen to one song, that automatically means that song was the only song on that CD. Also, this doesn't even make sense. I'm old enough to remember CDs having lots of songs.
Should he have any live people?
No.
Madagascar is a very large island that is home to over 22 million people.
Again, thanks Granny Tomias. Madagascar is nearly the size of Texas, so it's likely that the lemurs have never been to every part of the island and they haven't encountered the Malagasy people yet.
I mean, if we had a lot of live people here, it wouldn't be called the wild.
How would Maurice have any context for the wild if there are no people? Or how would any of them know what people are in the first place? Maybe this is San Diego after all.
King Julian literally pointed to a skeleton of the pilot of that plane, so that's how they know about people. But even if that wasn't true, they also know the concept of a king and wiping. Like, come on, this is an animated movie that's not meant to be taken this dadgum seriously.
Shut up, Spaulding.
Not hilarious Castaway Wilson joke is not hilarious.
Darn you all to heck!
At what point does a parent watching this with their kids decide to just put on an old movie instead? A good quarter of this film is just references to other films.
Jeremy sins a movie for making arbitrary movie references.
In other words, Jeremy would be excellent at sinning CinemaSins. How ironic.
This movie was written by 4 people, and I'm pretty sure the script was just a bullet point list of fart sounds and half-remembered pop culture references from their childhood.
Oh yeah? Well, how many writers work on these videos again?
Very impressive.
It is impressive. He built a tiki bar in a couple hours without the use of opposable thumbs, or fingers of any kind.
He's also talking.
For the record, again, this is an homage to a scene in American Beauty where a middle-aged man is having a daydream about f***ing his daughter's teenage friend. A children's movie is a really weird place for this.
Says this, even though he later goes on to make cringy sexual jokes over this kids movie.
This heretofore totally tamed lion suddenly has feral instincts just because he's hungry and the plot needs a jumpstart.
And also because the movie had an extended sequence showing Alex leaning further and further towards his wild side, which sets up this scene right here. This is part of why these videos normally suck, because CinemaSins cuts the movies up to make them appear worse than they are.
Excuse me? You're biting my butt!
That's exactly what my college girlfriend said to me shortly before dumping me.
What is a simple bite on the buttocks among friends?
Movie backs me up on something I've been saying for years.
Exactly! Why are you making these kinds of jokes over what you're calling a kids movie while in the same video sending the film for doing that?
Gotta admit, I'm only half paying attention at this point, but are these 2 things here walking stakes with legs and mouths? Oh hell, it's possible I ingested heroin without realizing it. Or Lion did.
Are you sinning dreams, imaginations for being the way they are again? I did not miss seeing this from the beginning of this video.
Marty, run!
Lion is tricked into hunting his Central Park Zoo zebra buddy, because, honestly, I wasn't paying attention.
Okay, then just turn off the movie!
Of course, the lion survives this. He's voiced by Ben Stiller. You didn't think such a character was capable of death, did you?
Sinning this joke.
Well, this kind of makes saving him in the last scene completely pointless.
That's the joke. You suck, McBain!
Melman's dreams are coming true.
And another cringe sexual joke.
Since it's clear the penguins can make things appear out of nowhere, why didn't he summon a more useful writing utensil, like a pen or a pencil?
Again, I'm pretty sure that's the joke. Also, what did I say about sending the penguins of Madagascar?
What's going on again? I was only out of the room for however long it takes to pee. Is this the most forgettable, successful animated movie ever? I think it might be.
No, that title goes to Moana too. Also, how does going to the bathroom mean that this movie's forgettable? Those two things have nothing to do with each other.
Alex?
I'd call this an Alex the Lion Ex Machina moment if the entire freaking movie hadn't been obviously building to this point all along.
So you send the movie for setting up a payoff? Oh yeah, you set up some payoffs in the Lightyear video, so I guess it shouldn't be a surprise. Stuff like this makes me wonder if you enjoy watching movies, because practically everything seems to bug you.
Are fish not anthropomorphic? The spider was.
And his heart is bigger than his stomach.
And that's the story of how Alex the Lion decided to slowly starve to death rather than hurt his friends. The end.
But you just seen the scene where Private cut up a fish, and the reason why that scene was in the movie is because now Alex will eat fish instead of literally every other animal, meaning this sin doesn't make sense.
Maybe we could make a few side stops along the way.
He said side stops, but what he meant to say was sequels.
Which are also pretty enjoyable, but since you never seen them, I guess you won't know that. What's that? Oh, they did send them? Ah, come on!